Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. Hope you're all doing awesome today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into today's Reddit posts. My father-in-law is trying to exclude me from my own pregnancy. After being engaged for the last 2 months, I found out that I was pregnant. Because it was unexpected and a very personal thing for me, I decided not to tell anyone but my fiancé until the second trimester. We have now told family and close friends, who have shown nothing but support and excitement for everyone's first grandbaby. I still do not plan on announcing my baby to the world or on social media anytime soon. Personal preference. However, last night we told my fiancé's father, and to say him and I don't have the best relationship would be an understatement. For example, whenever my fiancé isn't around, he'll make statements such as, "You have birthing hips," and other commentary about my looks, or mention my fiancé's ex. To top it off, when we got engaged, he didn't congratulate us once, and instead bragged to his friends and family about how my fiancé just got a new job and graduated from college. Last night we told him I was pregnant, and he made the entire subject about himself and my fiancé, saying, "Finally, a boy to continue our bloodline. I can't wait to watch him at sports practices." We don't know the gender yet. And the entire time, my father-in-law talked about how my fiancé is going to be such a great father. Not a single congratulations to me. And when his girlfriend mentioned buying baby clothes, he would cut her off and say, "Yeah, with what money? My money?" But what really irritated me was the fact he got mad at me for waiting so long to tell him, and wanted to know why he couldn't tell everyone about it and share it on Facebook yet, even texting me about it after I left. The entire time we were there, he referred to the baby as my fiancé's, and told us our lives were over and that we'll resent the kid. But at the same time, my father-in-law wants to watch the kid for weeks at a time. He believes he is entitled to be in the room when the baby is born if he wishes to. When I told my father-in-law I only wanted my fiancé in there, he told me that it wasn't my decision, and I needed to include everyone in this experience. Let's just say my fiancé and I have had a long talk since then, and for my sanity, my father-in-law will not be seeing me or the child for a very long time. You know, the father-in-law probably doesn't even realize it, but all he's doing is alienating himself from being involved in the kid's life. Just out of spite, I really do kind of hope that the baby is a girl. And seriously, telling the mother that it's not her choice who gets to be in the delivery room, I really do wonder what kind of person you have to be to not see a problem with that. Guns on a plane? Okay. Nail clippers? I don't think so, lady. So the airport post reminded me of years ago when I worked for FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons. The facility I worked at was a complex, 4 different facilities/levels of inmates, camp, medium, max, and supermax. I had made the transport team, which usually just consisted of busing guys to transfer facilities, medical apartments, etc. We also had to handle emergency transports to hospitals, or as in this case, WITSEC transfers. WITSECs are in prison witness protection inmates, usually guys who testified on the big bosses for lighter sentences. So as you can imagine, if someone recognized them, we had to move them pretty fast. So all transport team had a go bag in our locker. I was pretty new, so I had gone out when first accepted to transport and just bought the bare minimums. Go bags are like medium purse size. I had a change of undergarments, soft pants, t-shirt, and I just picked up one of those pre-packaged toiletry bags from Walgreens. So I come into work and I'm walking down to my unit when the lieutenant intercepts me. Seems someone effed up big time, and we got a WITSEC, and his co-defendant, the guy he testified against, is in the same facility. So WITSEC was snatched up, is in the shoe, and we're to take him to a facility in Florida. Plane leaves in a couple of hours. Driver is standing by. Inmates' belongings will be mailed. Why the big hurry? Well, both these guys are max security, with a very high escape/threat to public safety rating, and gang affiliations. Basically, if one knew the other was that close, it could kick off a full-blown riot. If I remember right, 3 people's heads rolled for that F-up. So we're off to go grab our go bags, get paperwork, and off to the armory. This guy required transport in a 5-point harness, minimum 2 armed guards. So we're issued a 9mm and 45 rounds of ammo each. We have 3 mags, 2 on our belts, 1 in the gun, and 1 round chambered. We are required to count each bullet before leaving armory. Me and my partner get all the necessary documents in triplicate, scoop up our guy, and off we go. We get to the airport in Denver. There's a whole special procedure for check-in. One of the things was they give you a red card with your boarding pass to let TSA know you're law enforcement and have a weapon with you. Now keep in mind this was a few years after 9/11. All this stuff was still new. We have to take our restrained inmate through security now. We were a bit taken aback by this. Okay, we say, and shuffle our guy on down. Now once we showed the gatekeeper, the person who made sure there were only ticketed passengers past that point, our tickets and red cards, we're directed to a separate security line where we secured our inmate in a holding room, and had TSA verify our ammo count, weapons cleared, etc. More paperwork. You have to verify the count when you land, too. So my partner and I are all done with weapons declaration, paperwork signed, and TSA says I need to scan your bags, too. We both shrug and toss them on her belt. They buzz through and the lady stops the belt and is scrutinizing the screen. Finally, she says to me, "I need you to open your bag." I give her a quizzical look, but open it up. She points to my toiletries bag and says, "Open this." Since I'd never used it before, I had to open all the packaging, etc. I dumped the contents out. The TSA lady exclaimed accusatorily, "Aha!" and grabs the 1-inch long by maybe a 1/4-inch wide pair of nail clippers. I mean, seriously, they were the smallest ones I'd ever seen in my life. So the TSA lady snatched them up and triumphantly looks at me, and with all the smugness of a well-seasoned airport security monkey, informs me that these are contraband. I stare at her, actually speechless for at least 30 seconds. I blink a few times and say very calmly, "Okay, you keep them then," and start to throw my stuff back in my bag. But oh no, Miss TSA isn't going down that easily. She very boldly informs me that she isn't my mother or my personal assistant. I brought the contraband into the airport and I can walk my happy ass right back outside with it. And put it where, I ask? I don't care what you do with it as long as it ain't in here. If you truly feel that those clippers in my possession is a threat to the security of the aircraft, then by all means keep them. But we don't have time to personally take them outside. Not my problem. You should have thought of that before you tried sneaking contraband onto my plane. You do remember a few minutes ago when you and I counted out 45 rounds of 9mm ammunition, right? So? Well, in a pinch, I'm gonna say odds are pretty good. Given my available options, the last thing I'd use to assert control over an entire plane is the 1-inch nail clippers of doom. In fact, if I found myself left with no other options outside of the death clippers, I'd just call the whole thing off. By the way, my partner has been losing his crap ever since he realized she was dead serious. He's not as quiet as he thinks he is, snorting, gasping, and laughing on the other side of her X-ray belt. And the TSA says, "I don't know what to tell you. I'm not throwing them away for you, and I sure as hell ain't letting you board my plane with them. Ma'am, maybe we can just step back and take a logical look at the situation. We need to board our flight. Nobody can step foot onto that plane until we get our inmate on and secured. I am a federal officer. My partner and I really don't want to draw any more attention to ourselves than necessary, for our safety and yours. I have a firearm with 45 rounds on my person. Surely, if I can be trusted with that, I can be trusted with the clippers. And I promise to dispose of them as soon as we land, so it'll never be an issue again. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but it ain't me. I said take them and go." She felt as though this was a mic drop moment, as she said her piece, and proceeded to back away, fold her arms, and stare at me. So I just start laughing at the absurdity of the situation. I grab the clippers, put them in my front pocket, and tell my partner, "Let's go." We go get our inmate and start shuffling him to the front. My partner is on the phone with lieutenant and captain, telling them what's been going on. They can't believe it and are pissed. We're being paged to come to gate X to board. I get out of the TSA lady's sight and approach a different TSA security lady, ask her to get a supervisor for me, as we have an issue with our transport, and show her my red card. She calls her supervisor with some kind of "get your butt here now" code, because within seconds, the supervisor is jogging up to us. I ask him if he can kindly call Gate X for Flight Y and let them know they're going to be delayed approximately an hour, because I cannot dispose of my contraband nail clippers within the airport. He looks at me like a confused puppy, head tilt and everything, and says, "Huh?" while eyeing my weapon. I tell him, "I'm very sorry, I didn't realize I had clippers in my bag." Your TSA agent was very clear that no exceptions could be made, and I am required to remove them from the premises before we can board. Unless, of course, if you wouldn't mind, could you possibly help me out so we don't have to escort him?" Nodded towards the inmate, back through the airport. I pull the instrument of doom from my front pocket and offer them to him. Well, to wrap this up finally, the supervisor takes the clippers, says he'll address this, gives us a ride on the cart to our gate. We board, and the rest of the trip was uneventful. Less the non-stop hilarious quips my partner was dishing out the whole time. He told the story to everyone we met on that trip. The warden even heard about it and brought us into his office so we could hear the story firsthand. Everyone thought it was funny after the fact. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay a guest's ER bill? My girlfriend's 10-year high school reunion didn't happen for obvious reasons, COVID, so she invited some of her closest high school friends, FYI, I do not know and have never talked to these people, to our apartment instead. I adopted my cat way back in 2016, prior to meeting my girlfriend. My girlfriend's friend, let's call her Sarah, immediately starts breaking out in hives once she entered our apartment. It turns out that Sarah has a severe cat allergy, and that she forgot her EpiPen in her hotel room. To make a long story short, we ended up having to call 911 because Sarah's reaction was quite bad. Earlier today, Sarah sent my girlfriend her ER bill. The bill is nearly $5,000, and my girlfriend says that I should pay it, since it was my cat who sent Sarah to the ER. I strongly disagree, since 1, I was not made aware of Sarah's allergy prior to her visit, and 2, Sarah shouldn't have forgotten her EpiPen. My girlfriend says that I should have told her high school friends that I have a cat. I said that telling her guests that I have a cat is her responsibility, not mine, as these are her high school friends. She said that I'm financially punishing someone for a simple mistake. OP, you're definitely not the a-hole. Just because it's your cat does not make you financially responsible for this. If someone is really that terribly allergic and careless enough to leave their EpiPen behind, and then enter a new person's house without asking whether or not they have a cat beforehand, that is definitely her own fault. It's not like every cat owner is expected to say to every single person entering their home, "Oh, by the way, I have a cat," just on the off chance that you're allergic. It sounds like your girlfriend's friend is just trying to push the bill onto someone else by making these excuses, when it's obviously her own fault. And someone in the comments also pointed out that an EpiPen only buys time, so a hospital visit would probably still be necessary in the end anyway. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed, and also hit that subscribe button for more. So I'm out of here, have an awesome day, and until next time, friends.